The recording has stopped.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jill.
Hi, Jill. I'm Jantong.
Jungtao?
Jantong.
John Tong.
Yeah, great. Hi, how do I pronounce your name? Germain?
I would say Jermaine, yeah. But I don't know for sure.
We cannot hear you. I don't know if she can hear us.
Jermaine, can you hear us? I know she had typed hi in the chat, he or she. I actually am not sure.
I just sent her a message saying that we cannot hear and asking if she can hear us. No reply yet.
Do you want to share verbally or did you want to share in silence or?
I would love to share. My problem is when it happened several times already. When I went into that meditation, and I forgot afterwards. I don't remember. All I could remember is that he said we could go through the door, and I met my future evolved self. And I could remember I was in a place with like clouds, very soft, but not, you cannot see anything. It's just feeling, it's very soft place. And then this, a horse came to me. Or maybe a unicorn, I don't know, but a horse, I guess. And then afterwards, I don't remember anymore what he said. And then when I woke up, I remember hearing, you can go, leave the place and go back to the door. What happened in between, I don't remember. It happened to me last time with his session already. Did that happen to you sometime?
Well, definitely sometimes when I am meditating.
It's really annoying.
And like for me, that always happens. Like if I wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning and then meditate, and then I fall asleep really deeply after that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like not really sure of everything or on what level everything transpired.
So I didn't get any messages, or not consciously.
I think a horse is pretty awesome as guidance.
Mhm. Yeah, I was surprised too. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. So that's all I could share. So if you remember more and you would like to share, then
Yeah, I joined late, but I was here for the whole meditation. And I was like kind of doing something in the kitchen as he set up the meditation. I was getting something to drink. And so like I hopped back on the couch and covered up, and my dog is here. And he said, okay, there's a door. And immediately I saw a redwood door. And it was just like old wood, like old, really bright red paint, and like a brass handle, just really bright, and it was very pretty. And then I was like, oh, am I making this up? And I was like, who knows, you know? And then he was like, you can go in the door. And I went through very easily. And then I just heard a lot of words that I've been hearing, like support and just kept hearing support. And then when he said your future self can give you something to take with you, it was like a big raw diamond stone, like just real big. And then I was like, am I making this up? Like, I'm probably making this up. But I was like, no, let me just go with it. And it just felt okay the whole time, like just felt okay. And he said something like, look at your future self or whatever. And I think I actually projected an image of somebody else, because I was like, actually, that's somebody else. Let me just come back to me. Like, let me just come back to me. And then that's when the diamond thing came out. So it felt good and very relaxing. But now I'm wondering, like, was it way longer than I thought it was? Like, I thought I was alert for the whole thing, but now I'm like, maybe I wasn't. But it was, yeah, that was kind of what I got. And I'm just going to sit with that because I'm in a lot of change right now. And well, I feel the internal change, and I feel like the external change is going to happen over the next year, which normally stuff for me is like, oh, it's going to change. And then 3 weeks, it's like changed. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that pace. We're going to go with ease, with ease, with ease.
okay. Oh wow.
That sort of, so it was good to hear support, kind of like support for the new. And I could just feel the presence of the evolved self. And I was like, okay, well then this year will really be about evolving and letting go. And, you know, I think that's what was so surprising, because I went into it thinking we were going to be like releasing someone or forgiveness. And I don't remember any of that.
Okay.
And maybe we did do something with that. I don't know.
So what did we do? We call our
I
future
got the
self,
door and future self.
and then we could take something as a gift from the future self.
The future self could leave something to you.
Okay.
And a lot of the trauma meditations I've had to do to heal trauma, that's what, like, you ask your spirit guide for the image or whatever of something to take with you so that to heal the trauma or whatever. That's what I felt like. I could feel that. I haven't done those meditations in like 7 years or so.
Okay. Did we ask any questions to our future self, or?
I'm not real sure. Now I'm not sure. At first I was like, oh, I was totally alert to the whole thing. And now I'm like, oh, now I don't know.
Well, at least you got a gift. That's not
Yeah.
bad. Uh-huh.
I've only done one other one of these. I usually have work, and so my person canceled, so I was able to jump in. Have you done all of these?
Yes, I think. Yes, I think so. It's the fourth one, I think. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is my second only.
Yeah. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
Apart from the forgetting part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really annoying for me.
Are you in school now, or did you graduate, or?
I'm in school in UK.
Okay.
Are you a graduate?
I graduated in 2013, but I'm back for BIW. So I'm finishing the first year of advanced studies this year.
Ah, okay. Oh wow.
And how about you? What year?
I'm just finished year 3. I'm about to start year 4. So still a long way. Yeah.
Were you guys virtual the whole year, or?
I was only able to attend one the first week, and then I was most of the time the only one virtual, because the rest of my class are all in Great Britain.
And where are you?
I'm in Germany.
Oh, okay. Where at?
In Berlin.
Okay.
Yeah.
My grandfather's family is from I think the Copenhagen area.
Ah,
My
okay.
brother worked actually. I think he went over in college and worked the summers there. But I am in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the USA.
Ah, okay.
So.
I hope the whole situation will get better in September so that I can join the rest of my group.
Yeah.
So are you working actively as a therapist, a healer?
I used to be a high school principal, and so I'm still working with school leaders across the country. I do leadership training.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I would say over the last 5 years, it's been a good mix of the traditional work that I've done, and then the Brennan work to kind of bring the awareness, a lot of third chakra work to school leaders and finding their strength and authentic leadership.
Wow, it's an amazing platform actually for, infusing Brennan work about.
Yeah.
So we are missing the third person.
I know. I'm sure Jermaine, I don't know if he or she wants us to do silence, or I know they never answered your.
No. No.
And do you use the Brennan work at all in your work, or?
Yes, I do. I'm a acupuncturist, natural therapist. So I'm learning Brennan work and the somatic experiencing.
Oh, that was.
Therapy.
I had to do a ton of that because of that's super powerful. Super powerful.
I'm totally amazed in combining all these together. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah. I was just saying I need to call my acupuncturist because I've been swimming laps, and I was like, oh, I overdid it. I need to call. Let's go get some needles.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying that. Yeah.
Year 3 was really tough for me. That was like my toughest year ever in my life.
Oh, how? How so?
I've actually had to digest it a lot. And my BIP is my old 3rd-year dean, but I had blocked memories that came out in 3rd year. So that was all that I had to do a ton of somatic experiencing for years to kind of work through what had been blocked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I think that was just really hard for me at the time to accept in. Like my body was very clearly saying one thing and my head was like, no. And then when I started to ask the questions and kind of peel away the layers, I was like, oh, actually,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty intense. But that's how I ended up with going to therapists that were in somatic experiencing. And so did a lot of work in
Wow.
a lot of my BIP sessions. And then I had to do like extra therapy sessions and extra stuff in between years 3 and 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't stop for a year for that or whatever.
Nope.
Oh, we need to
That's
go
why I
back.
say everything happened so fast for me. I was like, nope, this is going to be the year. I'm going to give myself the year, not going in full swing.
So I wish you all the best for your new coming changes and a lot of support.
And I can't wait to hear what happens with the horse, Jantong. I knew I said the first syllable wrong. Jantong.
It's
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
This meeting is being recorded.
Well, I'm seeing some smiles, which is reassuring. And I can see some contemplative types of looks too, which is equally reassuring. So, what I would ask you to do now is to write a paragraph and let that paragraph be a paragraph addressed to that person, that thing, that experience that you needed to let go. And begin this paragraph with the words ... experience name, whatever, person name. I forgive you because. And I'll give you, let me just look at my watch. 34. I'll give you 5 minutes to do that. You can always continue yourselves later on, but it'd be good to get some feedback. So you're going to write at the top of the page, ... So that ... means a name, dear dad, dear homophobia or whatever. I forgive you because. Okay, so 2 minutes left. Got 1 minute left. A bit less than 1 minute, actually. Okay, and if we could just bring what we're writing to a close. So, in the interests of the meaning of the session, I think it would be useful to do a bit of sharing to the whole group, and we can do this in either by speaking or by writing in the chat. And so I am wondering particularly about the journey. And if you have had some sense of journey today, if you have anything to share around that, or indeed anything around anything else that comes to mind, then please do. And as I said, you can either speak or you can write it down in the chat. So I'm flicking through because you're not all in the same window. So I have to keep moving around to see if anybody's indicating a desire to speak. Ah, Adil.
It was such a nice experience. When we were doing door, when we went through the door, I immediately dozed off, and like I was back to class. I didn't see anything. I didn't. I didn't see anything or share anything. I was just in a field full of love. And the ladies that were with me, the thing that they shared is resonate with a lot of things that's going in my life. in this moment. It was very nice how, as you always used to say, that the wisdom in the group. So it was lovely to hear from them. And I'll just read what I just wrote.
Mhm.
I forgive you because there is nothing to forgive other than being loved. I
Jose, check
forgive
it out.
you.
The new ones are coming on the 1st.
I forgive you, love, where there is nothing but love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. And yes, as it's just been iterated, the wisdom is in the group. It really is. Yeah. Thank you. I'm scrolling through again. Let's see. Well, it seems that people are much more internal than usually. So I imagine that this may well be because of the very personal nature of what we've been investigating today, and that's not really surprising, actually. I'll tell you that for me, although I spoke about racism earlier, when I had my first epiphany, it came through writing a letter to my deceased father and forgiving him for not understanding and for calling me stupid and telling me that I was big for nothing and those sorts of comments, which I believe he didn't mean as a way of putting me down. I believe he felt that he was trying to push me into a more firm-minded, strong, like a more firm-minded strength. However, I definitely resented it, and when I wrote those words and really really felt them, really embodied them, I did feel lighter. I did. Melissa says, I've wanted to have a greater sense of the aliveness of the earth. My mother died when I was barely a teen. In the visualization, I experienced myself as a belly button of the earth. Wisdom came. I can ground back through my belly button to feel my mother, feel the earth, feel everything. Thank you for that, Melissa. It actually reminds me of the story, actually, in some ways, the connection with the earth and that grounding. Amongst the many African peoples, actually, consider the feminine principle as the most important evolutionary principle. And it's very interesting because in the 21st century, women amongst the Yoruba will say, well, why can't women be the babalawo, the diviner? And the reason that the diviner is never a woman or the babalawo, not that diviners are not women, but that particular title is never given to a woman, is because a babalawo is a man who has to use divination to contact the feminine principle, that what they're tapping into is the feminine principle. And it's considered that women obviously carry this within them. So they don't need artificial means in order to contact the feminine principle. They are the feminine principle. And when I heard that, it gave me a deeper appreciation because, Ladine has a hand up. I do apologize.
It's all
Ladine,
right.
please.
Go ahead, finish.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we live in an upside down world. We cut ourselves off from our own wisdom by what we do to our women, by leaving girls in forests so that wolves can eat them because they're not boys, and by valorizing masculinity, even though out of control masculinity is in fact at the root of much of the illness, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, that we see in the world today. So, in my view, you women actually are the keys to the salvation of the earth and the salvation of humanity. And that's a burden. It's a burden. And I say to my mum and to my wife and my daughters as well, just don't accept the lazy attitude towards life and towards compassion and towards love from men, particularly those that you have influence over. Don't let them get away with not sharing themselves and not talking. It's not that we have to be like really on them. What have you got to say? What have you got to say? But be really clear, particularly with your male children, that compassion is strength, that vulnerability is strength, that openness is strength, and that these are things of love. And we too, we men must be, that's the role of a father, in my view, is to recognize that my sons, for me to be a man that is open to the embrace of the feminine principle, to embracing the feminine principle in myself and allowing the women in my life to be who they are and not what I want them to be. That's a learning that I get from thinking about that. So Ladine, please, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you. And I didn't mind waiting. I didn't want to interrupt you, but thank you. So I'm going to put my camera on, even though I don't have my hair done today. And so it's interesting what you said just now, because I just had a conversation about Black girl magic, and speaking to the feminine, you know, and how the feminine is within all of us, and how because of the isms so often I become too much and I need to morph myself in order to be acceptable and okay. So it was really, I could feel within me the impact of what you were saying, being a man, okay, and acknowledging that. So I appreciate that. But that the what I was going to say had to do with, and I heard, I think it's Hadel mentioned it. So I didn't want to be redundant. But when I was following the visualization, and what came to me in terms of healing, releasing, letting go the trauma was forgive everyone for everything and love. And then what I felt was this resistance. And the challenge of embodying, walking out those words. It's easy to say forgive. It's easy to say love, but to actually walk that out and do the work to be able to walk that out moment to moment. So it moved me, and I'm appreciating the exercise. And it's a journey for me.
Thank you, Lidine. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's a very timely comment. Bye, Irene. Take care. Have a very good week. That's an important comment, because it really is easy to talk about love. Eckhart Tolle, I love this quote actually. Eckhart Tolle said that if you're an enlightened being, you have spent years and years on Wudang Mountain or in a sacred grove in the Congo somewhere, and you return an enlightened being. If you really want to test how enlightened you are, go and spend a weekend with your family. Then you'll find out whether or not you are truly enlightened, because they will push every last button and they will be who they always were, and they will think that you are who you always were too. And they just will not treat you in the way that you feel that you now need to be treated, because you are now an enlightened being. They'll still talk to you in the same way they always did. And that's important, because I don't believe that it's not that there's no place for being with oneself in meditation, in spiritual isolation, purposefully, perhaps even vision questing, or a need for monasteries and so on and so forth. However, love happens here. Love happens where the dirt is, and the mess, and the aggravation, and the anger, and the disappointment, and the letdown, and all those sorts of things. They are almost like root soil for love. Love grows almost because of those things. I don't know whether, at least not in this dispensation, if we evolved into a different state of being, maybe love would not actually be a challenge for anyone. Maybe that's just would be where we resonate. We would resonate at that level. But certainly in this dispensation, I'm not sure whether it's possible to be truly loving without having had some experience, some challenge, something that we have had to go through in order to develop a greater capacity for love. So there's an invitation there as well to see the things that happen to us as being parts of the journey, parts of our story, parts of our evolution towards the state of love. I'll end with an anecdote about Rwanda. So, hold on one second. Let me just read what Maytal said. And then I'll end with that anecdote. At the beginning, I wrote, I forgive you, and thought to myself, I do not forgive. It is not worthy to forgive, because when I forgive, everything is repeating on itself. But when I continued writing, I felt that it is worth it. I forgive because it is worth it. I do it for myself. Because when I forgive, I have a choice to live, another choice, and not to forgive doesn't give me this choice. When I go back to this point, I have a choice. I have life I can risk, and life can be earned and be greater with all of its danger and foolishness and opportunities and dreams and love, self-love, as well as other love. Yes, Maytal, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. If you feel that
Thank
too,
you.
then you're most welcome. If you feel that too, just give Maytal a sign so that she knows. Yeah. So yeah. So there was genocide in Rwanda in the 1990s. The Hutu people rose up and slaughtered the Tutsi people, a few million. I can't remember the actual number, but a good few million people were killed, to the extent that it was called a genocide. And then in the intervening years, what has happened is that they developed a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was based on forgiveness. And now, one of the things that is occurring is that the men, because it was usually the men who destroyed the families of the women that are now still alive, who killed their sons and husbands, etc., those men are going through therapy and then making a decision that I am going to spend the rest of my life in service to that woman whose family I destroyed. And I was reading a magazine article, and one of the women was saying, it's not that I like this man. It's not that he's my friend, but I forgive him. And because I have forgiven him, I am connected to him in a really meaningful way while still not liking what he did. But I'm able to benefit from the service because I have no men around me to till the fields, to do the things that my men were doing. So he does it. You know? Now, to me, what the man has been able to do in that situation has been to resonate at a higher vibration, a vibration of love. And that society is being healed through love and through this kind of interaction. So rather than the usual story of blood feuds and when the Tutsi gain power, they do the same thing to the Hutu, then the children of the Hutu do the same thing to the Tutsi, then the children of the Tutsi do, instead of that, they've ended that cycle through love. And that's why I said that though hope seems frail, because imagine when those women were in that dark moment, when the Hutu were overrunning their homes, when machetes were the tools of the day. Hope must have seemed frail then. And yet, it is hard to kill. And the evolutionary gate of love has opened to a new reality for the people of Rwanda. And it is my conjecture and suggestion and invitation that this is the same truth from which we can all benefit, the same pool from which we can all drink. For remember, that pool is divine. Thank you so much. Hashima.
Thank you. Thank you, Shola.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And just before Lisa says what she's about to say, I can see from her body language, I will say that please, 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 oh, thank you. Please remember that ancestors will always find a mouthpiece. What I say is not mine, it's ours. So when you thank me, you're also thanking yourselves. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shala. As usual, it was so beautiful and touching, and I just really enjoy being in your company. You're so heartfelt that it's very moving, and we're excited to have you again. Our session 5 is Homecoming with Gifts, Harnessing the Potency of the Self. And so that will be at June 17th. So we're looking forward to that
We
session as well.
moved to the 24th, remember?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Thank you. So that'll be the 24th. And we'll be sending out an email announcement as well. So thank you. I never know what I'm doing until the day of usually. So good reminder, the 24th. So thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a really wonderful period of time until we meet again. And let's all keep that vibration of love in our lives and in our families, and just create change in our circles. And we can change the world like that. So yeah, thank you, people. I will see you again soon. Bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Maytel. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Lisa, bye, everyone. The recording has stopped.